All right, welcome back. We are going to begin with the in-cab inspection of the vehicle. When you first get in, go ahead and take those keys out of your pocket, put them back into the ignition. Okay. What we're going to do next, go ahead and shut your door. And the first thing we're going to start to describe is our seatbelt. So we're going to have you put the seatbelt on just like you normally would here. As you're putting on your seatbelt, you're going to describe it. You're going to say it's not cut, frayed, dry rotted, or bulging. You heard it latch properly. And it's not missing any nuts, bolts, or screws, because there are some bolts that keep this attached. And we definitely want those to be intact. All right, next, I'm going to position the seat for me. And that's just like you would in the car, adjusting your seat. And then I'm going to check and make certain that my mirrors are properly adjusted for me. At this time, all of that is done. I'm going to do a safety start. So what we want to first do, we just want to double check, make sure that our brakes are all the way out. The next step we want to do is we want to make sure that the shifter goes left and right. That means it's not in gear, it's in neutral. Now I'm going to depress the clutch. I am going to turn the key to the on position. You're going to hear the buzzer. You also, if you take a quick look and see the ABS light came on and went off. And at this point, I am ready to start the truck. All right, so the truck is started. As it builds air pressure, I'm gonna go ahead and start working my gauges. I'm gonna start here first with my oil gauge. The oil gauge is steadily building to the proper pressure. I'm gonna drop right down to my temperature gauge. My water gauge is steadily building to the proper pressure, but I'm watching this so it does not overheat. Then I'm gonna come here. I hope you can see this. We have an electronic voltmeter. It's reading 14.1, supposed to be between 12 and 14, so that's in the proper ranges. And then we'll come over here to my air gauges, which are steadily building. All right, but I'm gonna say that they're gonna build between 100 and 125 psi. All right, now all of my gauges, because I didn't cover them all, so here's where I'm gonna catch them. All of my gauges are not bent, broken, chipped, cracked, or broken, not missing any nuts, bolts, or screws. They are clean, clear, and functioning. So that takes care of all of my gauges. So what I'm gonna do next, and there's not a specific order to go in. This is it just flows this way for me. I'm just gonna look right up and I'm gonna talk about my windshield. My windshield is not chipped, cracked, or broken. Not missing any nuts, bolts, or screws. It's glass, so it's clean and clear. Then I'm gonna go up here and talk about my rubber seal. All right, it's rubber, so it's not cut, frayed, dry rotted, or bulging. And I hear and see no leaks. While I'm out there, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on my windshield wipers. All right, the arms are metal, so they're not bent, broken, or cracked, not missing any nuts, bolts, or screws. The blade itself is rubber, so it's not cut, frayed, dry rotted, or bulging. I have to show that they actually work. And then I'm also gonna show that my windshield washer fluid works, which you can see there that it does. All right, now, next thing I'm gonna check are my inside light indicators. Again, inside light indicators. I want to make sure that they're working. I'm gonna check the outside of the lights later. So first thing I'm gonna do, come over here, cut on my lights, and I'm gonna put on my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my high beams, my four-way flashers. All right, showing that all of those inside indicators are working. The next step that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna test my city horn. And then I'm gonna test my highway horn. All right, everything's working there good. Next up, I'm gonna come over here and set it on defrost and heat. I'm gonna reach up top, make sure that my defrost is working, and reach underneath, make sure that my heat is working. And we're all good to go there. All right, so I've checked all of my gauges. The one other thing I want to check, if I think I can get it angled, yep, there it is, right down there. I have no illegal stickers except for my inspection sticker, which is current and up to date. All right, so now I'm ready to do my first test, which is a tug test. So I'm going to check my brakes. I'm going to tug against my tractor brakes. So in order to do that, I have to push into trailer brakes so that I'm tugging just against the tractor brakes. And then I'm going to check my trailer brakes and I'm going to push into tractor brakes to tug against the trailer brakes. And all we're going to do is put the gear shifter in low gear and then release the clutch. And we'll tug against it. As soon as I feel it tug, I'm going to raise the clutch up and then push it right back down. So again, I'm going to push in my trailer brakes. So that means I'm tugging against the tractor brakes. Put it into low gear. Bring up, get off the brake, bring up the clutch, nice and slow. There it is tugging, and I'm going to push it right back down. Now I'm going to come over here and switch. Pull out the trailer, push in the tractor. Now I'm tugging against the trailer brakes. Still left it in gear, so I didn't have to do anything there. And now all I have to do is release the clutch slowly till it tugs. There it's tugging. I push it back down, and I'm going to pull this back out, make sure my brakes are applied. Okay, this is the next step. It is the most crucial step of your entire pre-trip. All of the work we've done thus far has been great, but if we get this next test wrong, that's it. It's an automatic fail. I hate to tell you that, but that's the truth. So it puts pressure on you. But this is not that difficult. We're going to do it step by step. What am I talking about? The air leakage test. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, or maybe not do, we're going to leave it in gear, all right, from our tug test. We applied our brakes. We're going to leave it in gear. I've got the clutch. My clutch, the whole time we've been talking, is still depressed, because if not, the truck would jump and stall out. So, first thing I'm going to do is leave it in gear. The second thing I'm going to do is come over here, and I got to cut it off. I got to cut the engine off. At that time, I can release the clutch, and then I need to turn the key back to the on position. Okay, so why do I need to turn the key to the on position? I need all of my gauges to work. We're going to be testing some of those in a few seconds, and if the key is not in the on position, those gauges will not work. All right, so step one is in gear. Step two is cut the truck off and then back to the on position. Step three is I'm going to push in both of my brakes. That's why I had to leave it in gear, because if I push in these brakes, nothing's holding the truck except for it being in gear. So I'm going to go ahead and push in my brakes. And once you hear that hissing sound, let me cut this off. Once the hissing sound settles, which there it goes, then I'm going to look at my gauges and say I should not lose more than 3 psi once they have settled, which I did not. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is step on my service brake. That's your foot brake that's down here. This one right here. I'm going to step on that and hold it for 1 minute. And during that minute, I shouldn't lose, once again, more than 4 psi. For the DMV test, you do have to time this. So you pull out your phone and run a stopwatch for a minute and show them, hey, it's been a minute. I didn't lose more than 4 psi. Okay, for the video, we're going to continue on. All right, my next step is I'm going to pump my foot brake down to 60 psi. What's going to happen there at 60 psi? The low air light and buzzer should come on. Again, this is the reason why I had to leave it in the on position, because if I didn't and I pumped it down to 60, nothing would happen and I just keep on pumping. And again, if you mess this test up, this air leakage test, it is an automatic fail. Now, if you mess it up and you have plenty of time left on your clock, you can ask for a restart, build the air pressure up and start from the beginning. But we have not messed up yet, so we are going to pump down the foot brake just like that. Just keep stepping on it. And there you go. You see the low air light and buzzer has come on. All right, so next step, I'm going to continue to pump that foot brake down. And I have to tell them at 20 to 30, my trailer brakes should pop out. At 30 to 40, my At 20 to 30, my tractor brakes will pop out. At 30 to 40, my trailer brakes will pop out. They probably will both pop together at 30 because they both share that as a common denominator. So we're going to pump on down, and we're going to keep our eyes on the brakes. We cannot touch them. Bam, they just went 1, 2. All right, that concludes the air leakage test. At this time, I need to do a safety restart. So the first thing I need to do, check my brakes that they're fully out. I know we heard them pop, but we got to make sure they're all the way out. The test is over, so we can touch them now. Now, I need to put my gear shift in neutral because right now it's in first gear. So I'm going to press the clutch in, pull it out, make sure it goes left and right. I'm in neutral. I've depressed the clutch. I'm ready to start the vehicle. All right, the truck is started. At this time, I'm going to raise up the RPMs to about 1,000 to help that air pressure build up quickly and to get the low air light and buzzer to go off. All right, it went off. All right, at this time, I would unbuckle myself, climb out of the truck, and remove the chocks that we first put down in the first video. We're going to do a surface brake test where the truck will actually go forward. So I need to remove those chocks. This is the time to do so. We get out, we put the chocks back on the side or inside the truck. We get back inside and we check. If we're not built up to 100 to 125 PSI, well, we're going to build it up to 1,000 RPMs and wait for the air governor to kick out. And that's what we'll do here. And you may be wondering, well, how will I know when the air governor kicks out? It's a distinct sound. You hear it go psh, which it just kicked in and did that. So we're good to go. My next test is a surface brake test. I'm going to put the truck in low gear, release the brakes, and I'm going to go forward 3 to 5 miles per hour. I'm going to clutch in and stop the truck with the foot brakes. The truck should not rock to the left or the right, which shows that my brakes are properly aligned. So we're going to start that. I'm going to put my foot on my foot brake. I'm going to release the parking brake, the trailer brake, put it in a low gear. And now we're going forward 3 to 5 miles per hour. Now I'm going to clutch in and come to a nice controlled stop. And as you can tell by looking out the window, we didn't rock to the left or the right. So my brakes are properly aligned. I'm going to set my brakes. I've already put it in neutral. At this time, I'm going to look over at the DMV proctor who will be sitting in the jump seat and ask him, sir, can you help me with my lights? Remember, we checked the inside lights, the indicator lights. Now it's time to actually check the outside of the lights. He will step out of the truck and go to the front corner and give you a hand sign. So you turn on your truck's regular lights. He'll check your clearance marker and your running lights. Then you can hit him with the high beams. All right, then he'll point to the left, hit him with the left turn signal, right turn signal, four-way flashers. Then he's gonna walk to the back of the truck and check your lights under there. So same thing, left turn signal, right turn signal, four-way flashers, and this time you're gonna step on the brakes. Then he's going to go all the way to the back of the trailer and do it one more time and check those lights. Left turn signal, right turn signal, four-way flashers, and your brakes. At that point, he's going to come up to your driver's door and he's going to look at you. And you're going to look at him. And if you don't say anything, that's going to be a staring contest. You have to tell him, sir, this completes the end of my pre-trip inspection. You have to say that. If you're sitting in the seat and all of a sudden you just have an epiphany and realize that you have forgotten to do the brake system on the steer tires, if you haven't closed it out and told him that that's the end of your pre-trip, you can get out of the truck and go handle that at that point in time. All right, we'll go over more in class. Please don't get overwhelmed. Once again, we're gonna pre-trip every single day. You're gonna know this for quite some time. If you've never even seen a slack adjuster or never even seen a belt, you don't have to worry about it. By the time this class is over, you will be fully knowledgeable and be able to pre-trip a Class A vehicle. Thank you for your time.